Hello, hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to another edition of SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. We're going to pick two random SoulsBorne bosses, and then they will engage in a hang gliding contest. Do those even exist? I really don't have any idea, but it does now because I just created it. So they are going to engage in a hang gliding contest, and whoever hang glides the fastest, the longest, and the highest will be the winner? Question mark. I guess that's what we're going to do, because that's just what I said. So that's what we're going to do. So, all right, a hang gliding contest between SoulsBorne bosses should be fun. Can you imagine the one reborn in a hang gliding contest? I can't. Okay. The battlefield has been cleared. It can house any and all SoulsBorne bosses, and it has housed all of them at least once for a SoulsBorne Battle Royal that we had once. Pretty close to 100 bosses in here, including some special spaces that make things more interesting. So, let us stop this wheel and see who the first competitor is going to be on SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. Mikolash, host of the Nightmare. Am I overstating it when I say that Mikolash is the most annoying boss in the history of SoulsBorne games? Last week I spoke about my oldest son Christian and I having a conversation about Bloodborne bosses. And of course we had to discuss Mikolash. Oh my god. So annoying. So annoying. And I think I'm pretty sure that a lot of you are going to be in agreement with me. Ugh, just chasing him all over that stupid level is so annoying. Oh my god. I'm not looking forward to having to do that when I play Bloodborne. The no blood vials challenge, I guess it will be, when I end up getting to that. Oh god, that's gonna suck. That is gonna suck so bad. Alright. Mikolash, host of the Nightmare, is the first competitor here on SoulsBorne Battle to the Death, and we're gonna take this wheel for another spin. I will say that Mikolash is tough when he stops running and you have to fight him one-on-one. He does have some pain in the ass attacks. And that's kind of the worst thing about it. Like, he's so annoying that you have to chase him around the level. That makes him annoying. And then when he finally stops, he's actually a tough boss, too. So, if you lose, you got to chase him all over again, and then you got to fight him all over again. That's, oh, man. Oh, I know I have, and I'm sure many other people have spent hours and hours on Mikolash, host of the Nightmare. Alright, but today, he is not fighting just a regular player. He's going to be fighting another SoulsBorne boss. So he is on one side of the battlefield. And on the other side of the battlefield, we have the Crystal Sage from Dark Souls 3. Man, we couldn't even give Mikolash a tough... We couldn't even give Mikolash a tough opponent. And that one comment is going to get me a letter from my legal department, but it is what it is. I can't help myself sometimes, so I'm sorry. Sorry, legal department. Go ahead and send your letter. I'll just deal with it. It's whatever, so... Alright, we are going to have to go to the contractually obligated bio, so let's have a look at Mikolash, host of the Nightmare. Mikolash, host of the Nightmare, was apparently at one time a former student of Bergenworth, and apparently he went insane after contacting the Great Ones using the Mensis cage. He implies that he is aware of the dream world. According to the Bloodborne fandom wiki, a popular theory about the Nightmare of Mensis, and Mikulash in particular, is that all beings found in the nightmare are people that attempted to make contact with the Great Ones. The Mensis cage placed on one's head traps the thoughts of the bearer, and upon their death are immersed into the dream as themselves or other freakish incarnations. If and when you find a way to kill Mikulash, and it is a very difficult task, I assure you, his death quote,
"Now I'm waking up! I'll forget everything!"
This seems to give fuel to this theory, because it explains that his consciousness exists only in the nightmare, and that upon being freed he will awake to find only his own corpse, which is freaking terrifying. Now, I have said earlier that Mikulash is an extremely annoying boss, and for those that are unaware, the reason for this is because when you first face Mikulash, you have to chase him around this level over and over and over again, and if I remember correctly, land a couple of shots, and then eventually he will seek refuge in this one room, and then you have the actual boss fight. This is not to mention the skeletons that are lying in wait around various parts of the level to take cheap shots at you, and this is also very annoying. When you do come face to face with Mikulash finally, he is a very, very tough opponent, and he has many, many tricks at his disposal. He can cast a Call Beyond, which is an AoE spell that causes a considerable amount of damage. The Augur of Ebrietas is a straightforward attack, but it also deals considerable damage, and if it hits you, yeah, you will be feeling the pain of that, I assure you. The bottom line is, Mikulash is a pain in the ass because you have to chase him around this level, as I said earlier. It's annoying to have to chase him all over the place, and then when you do finally catch him, he's a pain in the ass to fight too. He's an extremely difficult boss that does not need to run away from you at the beginning. I think he just does it to be annoying. So, I think that really kind of sums up the boss Mikulash, host of the Nightmare. I think what most people remember about him is having really to chase him all over the, this, kind of maze, I guess, that you're in. And then once you get in the room with him, I think people remember the fight too, but people more remember the fact that you have to catch him first, and that's, it's aggravating. It is aggravating for sure. And, but Mikulash is certainly not an enemy to be taken lightly, and he can certainly hold his own against virtually any boss in SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. The Crystal Sage that you battle as a boss in the Road of Sacrifices is actually one of two Crystal Sages. They are spiritual successors to the legendary Grand Sage Logan, and the other one can be found in the Grand Archives. You fight him or her as you enter the archives themselves. They both possess a scroll containing the crystal sorceries of Seath, a branch of sorcery recorded by Logan and carried on by the two sages. The Crystal Sages eventually reach Lothric and introduce to them not only crystal gems, but the heretical belief in the Pale Dragon Seath and his mad knowledge. Eventually, they would reach a pact with uncertain terms with the Undead Legion of Farron to teach them sorceries, and the Legion believed in speed over power, so the sages created spells that were practical and could be used relatively faster than regular spells, but they also created spells that encouraged the development of specific talent. So when you first fight the Crystal Sage, they spend the first part of the fight teleporting and casting spells and all that. And basically when you run up to them, you can probably get 3, 4, 5 good shots before they disappear. And then eventually the sage will create clones of itself. And I don't know, a lot of people ignore the clones. I find it in myself that I can't ignore them, because in terms of magic, they are just, I think they're just as powerful as the original sage. So all it takes is one hit to get rid of them. So if you're nearby one of them, I usually just take a hit at them and they disappear. But obviously you want to focus on the original sage. It's the only one you can really deal damage to. The Crystal Sage's magic is very powerful, and you know, if you're not equipped to deal with it, the Sage can put you away in a hurry. I don't think the Crystal Sage gets as much credit as it probably should. The Crystal Sage could be a problem if you're not prepared to deal with it, and if you take it lightly, then you know, you will pay the price for it, and I have many times. But at the same time, you know, it's a relatively straightforward boss to deal with, I think. So, but yeah, I mean, you know, like I said, the Crystal Sage is certainly not a boss to be taken lightly, and you know, up against the right type of enemy, you know, the Crystal Sage can hold its own in SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. This is just a little bit of an aside, but I think an interesting thing about this fight is that, you know, if the two faced each other, if Mikolash tried to run away from the Crystal Sage, that the Crystal Sage could probably teleport and end up right in front of him. Mikolash probably couldn't get very far away from the Crystal Sage. So I guess that's one advantage that the Crystal Sage has. That being said, Crystal Sage, I mean, let's be honest here, the Crystal Sage would not last very long against Mikolash. Once Mikolash stopped running and turned to face the Crystal Sage, I don't think it would take very long for the host of the Nightmare to deal with the Crystal Sage. I think Mikolash deals with the Crystal Sage pretty easily, and I mean, I don't know what else to add to that. I think Mikolash wins this fight pretty easily. I don't think that's there should be too much debate about that, you know. Like I said, Mikolash is tough. He has very hard-hitting attacks, especially his, you know, the AoE attacks. Crystal Sage could probably hold their own for quite a while, but you know, I don't think that Crystal Sage can stand up to the might of Mikolash and his Ibriatas attacks. But that is just my opinion. Feel free to leave yours in the comments. And with that, yet another edition of SoulsBorne Battle to the Death draws to a close. RobertBlanchardBooks.com. If you're interested in the award-winning Roar of a Dragon series, you can read the first 3 chapters of each book there for free. If you'd like to hear more about them, the Rise of Dragons podcast, wherever you find your favorite podcast. My Linktree, my Instagram, my Twitter, all Bobby's World 2110. Mondays, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the Dark Souls Remastered No Estus run right now. We are delving deeper into the... Oh, God, what is it called? If you've been watching me play this game for any length of time, you've been hearing me bitch about the controls and all this stuff. I mean, obviously, it was the first game. It was made in 2011. But they did remaster it. They couldn't remaster the fucking controls. Sorry. Just... We're delving deeper into the depths. I think in this past episode I'm trying to upgrade my pyromancy, so that's a thing I'm working on trying to do after I finally dispose of the Capra demons. So that's what I'm working on in that episode. And of course, back in the archives, I have the Elden Ring No Crimson Flask run, I have the Sekiro No Healing Gourd run, I have the Dark Souls 3 No Estus run, and the Dark Souls 3 No Level Up run. So, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So go check it out if you are interested. And Wednesdays, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is what you're watching right now. SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. I don't really have to explain what it is because you just watched it. So, and that is pretty much it. I have some other things in the works that I'm gonna try to get to when I get a chance. There's just been no time lately. I am just pushing forward as much as I can. I've tried to make sleeping a priority. That's my self-care work that I'm doing right now, is trying to put sleep above all else. And I do have a break from my main job coming up very soon, so I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully that helps me reset my mindset and, you know, come back a little bit fresher. So, just working on trying to keep my mental health under control because it's been sagging a little bit lately. Excuse me. And that's a very difficult place to be. Sure a lot of you out there can relate to that. So, leave a like, subscribe, notifications, and all that jazz. I love you guys. I appreciate your love and support very much. I appreciate the growth that the channel has seen a little bit lately. So that means a lot to me. And I'm going to keep pushing out content for as long as I can possibly do it. So, you know, as long as you guys are watching, I'm going to keep doing what I do. So, yeah, that's all I really got to say. Just appreciate the support. I don't know what else there is to say, except that I hope you guys have an amazing week. Be well, stay safe, and as always, it's Bobby's World, and you're all just living in it. See, I'll see you alive, y'all. Bye. What's going on, guys? Thank you for checking out the video today, but I got a question for you. Did you know I wrote a book? Did you know I wrote 3 books? Did you know that they're all part of the same series? The Roar of a Dragon, The Treachery of a Weasel, and The Cry of a Raven. ReadersFavorite.com says that its intensity rivals that of the Game of Thrones series. Now, I personally think that's crazy, but it's not for me to judge. It's for you to judge. Go to RobertBlanchardBooks.com and you can check out the books right now. But wait, that's not all. All 3 books got 5-star reviews in ReadersFavorite.com. These books won the silver medal in the Literary Titan Awards. The Cry of a Raven won silver at the Global eBook Awards. So what are you waiting for? Read about Aiden's dream to become a Knight of Delmar. Read about his death and resurrection. Oops, I gave that away, didn't I? And read about his journey back home from 3,000 years in the future to stop the evil that started in Delmar. Go to RobertBlanchardBooks.com. You can read the first 3 chapters of each book there for free. And then, if you're interested, you can buy the books there as well. And if you've already read the books or you just want to hear more about them, you can check out the Rise of Dragons podcast. You can listen to it wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. And in every episode, I cover a character from the book, an event from the book, my journey into writing, and everything in between. Ripley, what do you got to say about all this?
Give me a treat or I will end you.
You know she's telling you to check out the books. Go to RobertBlanchardBooks.com to check out the books or listen to the Rise of Dragons podcast if you want to hear about them. That's all I got to say, and thank you for watching this video.